If I could please have council take their seats so we can do a sound check.
Excuse me.
Okay, let's go ahead and start with the sound check. Councilmember Davis?
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2.
Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Testing, testing. Test, 1, 2.
Test, test. Testing A, B, C. D, E. Mic check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. How's that?
All right, the time is now 6:01. Our regular city council meeting for April 4th, 2023 is now in session. First on the agenda is our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Brown, will lead us with the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flag of the United States and the state of Texas. Please rise.
Good evening. Thank you, Lord, for the freedom we enjoy in our great country. Hear our prayers to keep us strong, to continue enjoying our freedoms and building our city in your vision. The decisions we make here will have a lasting impact. Help us to make the best decisions for all of our citizens. Protect our first responders and keep all of our staff and employees healthy as they toil to maintain and build our city. And I end again with thanks and for the blessings you have provided us. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, before we get started, I do have a special announcement. As a reminder, students who are participating in the Hal Baldwin Scholarship are required to sign in on the sheet that was located in the back. If you have any questions, please forward those questions by email to sgonzalez@schertz.com. Again, that's sgonzalez@schertz.com. So we'll move on. We have a couple proclamations here, so we'll get started with our first proclamation. The month of the military child. If I can please have the representatives please join me up here at the podium. And Councilmember Davis will read the proclamation.
April 2023 is Month of the Military Child. April 15th, 2023 is Purple Up for Military Kids Day. Whereas the city of Schertz will observe Month of the Military Child during the month of April 2023, and on April 15th, 2023, Purple Up for Military Kids Day to honor military families and their children for the sacrifices they make and their unconditional support of our armed forces. And whereas more than 1.7 million children under the age of 18 have at least one parent serving in the armed forces, and an estimated 900,000 children have had one or both parents deployed multiple times. And whereas the city of Schertz, along with the Texas Education Agency, are committed to ensuring military-connected students are supported in our schools and various programs as our men and women in uniform focus on the challenges and missions they face in the line of duty. And whereas in the month of April, citizens can show their support for military children and appreciation for their strength and sacrifices by wearing purple, which represents the blending of the colors of the 5 branches of the armed forces. Now therefore, Ralph Gutierrez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, called upon all citizens of the City of Schertz and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the month of April 2023 to be the month of the military child, and April 15th, 2023 as Purple Up for Military Kids Day.
Hi, I'm Mari Haddis. I'm over at Dobie Junior High, and we've had we call it an S2S program. I've been in charge of that for about the last 7 years. We are Purple Star recognized. We do get to serve all the military kids around here, and as we all know, SCUC has a huge number of them. So my core job over at Dobie, and then I have partners at Steele that I partner with, as well as elementary students, is we welcome every military child that comes in. On an average, some of those kids are moving 8 to 9 times before they even graduate from high school. So we just welcome them into our community, into our school, and into everything that makes them feel comfortable making another move. So I'm from the secondary side. She takes care of our younger kids, our K through 6.
So my name is Kelly Crooker. I'm at Green Valley Elementary, and so we have a We Serve 2 program, and so that is for all of our little ones whose parents are active duty, and so we meet several times a month. We get to do activities. We welcome new people that come in, and this month we're going to be celebrating all night long.
Thank you for joining us. You're a military child, what can you say? I mean, like you said, the number of moves that they make, the packing, the unpacking, the adjusting at schools. My daughter went through 7 different schools before she finally graduated. It is quite a bit for the kids to adjust. But the people around here make it much easier for them. And thank you all for coming by. We could have the next proclamation. If I can please have the representatives for the sexual assault and awareness come and join us.
April 2023, National Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Whereas every 68 seconds, another person in the United States is sexually assaulted. In Texas, 2 in 5 women and 1 in 5 men are victims of sexual assault. And in the fiscal year 2022, the Guadalupe Valley Family Violence Shelter rendered 1,422 services to 370 survivors of sexual violence and provided 65 hospital accompaniments for sexual assault exams. And whereas, according to the studies conducted by the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault and the University of Texas at Austin Institutes of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, approximately 6.3 million Texans have been sexually victimized. And whereas most victims are sexually assaulted by someone they know, and 91% of victims did not report to the police. And whereas it is appropriate to salute more than 20 million victims who have survived sexual assault in the United States. And in the efforts of victims, volunteers, professionals who combat sexual assault, and whereas national and community organizations and private sector support should be recognized and applauded for their work in promoting awareness about sexual assault. Whereas police, forensic workers, and prosecutors should be recognized and commended for their hard work and innovative strategies to increase the percentage of sexual assaults that result in prosecutions and incarceration of the offenders. And whereas sexual violence is a persistent and pervasive problem in this society, one that requires attention year-round, and in order to foster healthy communities, all citizens must support the efforts that end sexual violence in every month of the year. And whereas national and community organizations, business and private sectors, and media are urged through national sexual assault awareness for sexual violence and strategies to decrease in the incidence of sexual assault. And now, therefore, I, Michelle, and Mayor Gutierrez, Mayor of City of Schertz, do hereby proclaim the month of April as National Assault Awareness and Prevention Month.
My name is Ashley Square. I'm the sexual assault advocate for the Family Violence Shelter in Sabine. And I just want to, thank you all for y'all's support. Thank you especially to our law enforcement that we work with on a regular basis, as well as our hospitals, the citizens. We need y'all's support in this. CAC as well. I think I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and come over here. Let's take a picture. Michelle, you can join us. Our next proclamation is the Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month.
Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, April 2023. Whereas more than 56,944 cases of child abuse and neglect were confirmed in Texas during 2022. And whereas there were 297 confirmed victims of child abuse and neglect in Guadalupe County in 2022. And whereas child abuse prevention is a community responsibility and finding solutions depends on involvement among all people. And whereas communities must make every effort to promote and support programs that benefit children and their families. And whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among a variety of entities, including but not limited to schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, child protective services, prosecution agencies, medical professionals, mental health professionals, the children's advocacy centers, court-appointed special advocates, and other community-based nonprofit organizations. And whereas everyone in the community should become more aware of child abuse prevention and consider helping parents raise their children in safe, nurturing environments, as well as supporting local professionals dedicated to meeting the needs of child abuse victims. And now, therefore, be it resolved that Ralph Gutierrez, Mayor of the City of Schertz, in official recognition, hereby proclaims April 2023 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Schertz, Texas, and urges all citizens to work together to reduce child abuse and neglect and to significantly improve the response of our community when child abuse occurs in the months and years ahead.
Hello, I'm Jade Dimitri, and I am with CASA Central Texas. First of all, we want to thank the mayor, city council members, and city staff for recognizing Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month. I also want to, this is mostly to y'all, we have a Bruises Are Blue campaign that we have going on for the month of April. And we've passed out blue fingernail polish and a little card about the campaign to the city council members and staff. And gentlemen on the council and staff, it might be a stretch for you to paint your nails blue and post it on social media, but if you can pass the nail polish on to someone that might want to do that, we're doing that for our kind of push for awareness and education. And ladies on the council, just go ahead and paint your nails blue, and you can tag us at CrossUp Central Texas or CrossUp Syntex on your social media, and it's just kind of a fun little thing that we are doing. We have a ton of events along with proclamations that we're attending with all of the other supporting agencies. I do want to mention our April event, which is April 28th. It's a lovely dinner and gala event, and our theme this year is Tailgate with Team CASA. And that is all to help us raise funds to continue to do what we do, which is provide trained advocates to help abused and neglected children navigate the court system. I think that's it for me, but thank you all for your support.
Good evening. My name is Donna Bragg. I'm a supervisor for Child Protective Investigations in Guadalupe County. And I just want to thank the community as a whole for recognizing and supporting the awareness. April is Awareness for Child Abuse Month. We work very closely with law enforcement here, and we certainly do appreciate that cooperation and that relationship that we have with them. We also work very closely with the Child Advocacy Center in helping to protect kids and ensuring that parents can raise their kiddos in safe homes. Personally, I would love to be out of a job, but as it is, we just want to make sure that kids are safe. So thank you all very much for bringing this out into the open and being willing to talk about it. It's a good thing, so thank you.
Good evening, my name is Kane Jaggers. I am the Senior Regional Director for Belong. Belong is the lead provider for community-based care, and essentially we oversee the child welfare system here in Guadalupe County, as well as 26 others with the exception of investigations and family-based, which remains with DFPS. I just want to kind of go off and say again, thank you all so much for your continued support and helping bring awareness. We cannot do this work alone. It really does take the community. And so what Belong really tries to do is try to identify areas in which we can help support the community initiatives, pour into the work that's already being done here in the great city of Schertz, so that way when children do find themselves in situations that require them to be removed due to abuse and neglect, that we can find safe and caring adults such as yourselves to help open your doors, open your hearts, and take in these children so they can stay connected to their schools, their community, friends, and any other connection that they may have here. We are asking everyone in Schertz to please help us paint the town blue for April. You can change your light bulbs to blue, wear blue nail polish, and just make sure to tag SJRC Texas on that. We would love to show children and families from Schertz that this is a safe place. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for being here tonight. So I'm Michelle Meehan. I'm the Assistant Director and Team Relations Liaison at the Guadalupe County Children's Advocacy Center. And we are involved in work with our partner agencies such as law enforcement, DFPS, prosecution, medical and mental health professionals, and CASA. When it comes to reports of abuse or neglect being made and kids are involved in those investigations. Our agency is a tool that gets utilized when investigators need to talk to kids about sexual abuse, criminal physical abuse, and other types of crimes that they may have witnessed. And one of our main services is called forensic interview, and that just gives kids a space and opportunity to talk about their experience in their own words. And during that time, we also have family advocates that work with their non-offending caregivers to make sure that they get linked up to the information and resources that they need to help get them through this, and to just heal through, just to start the healing process for them. We also provide free counseling to all of our kids and families, and as of this past year, we have provided more than 17,000 counseling hours free of charge to all of our clients. So very happy about that service. A little bit of what we did last year in 2022, we provided services to 849 children in Guadalupe County. And of that, 536 kids received a forensic interview. We provided advocacy to 481 families. And we had 157 children in therapy services, and they received just under 1,900 hours for sessions. And then 49 adults and 454 hours for counseling for them. On the prevention side, we have a couple programs that we do to just help educate kids in their personal empowerment and safety. And we had 60 kids complete RAD Kids, which is a program that we are doing in some private schools, and that just teaches how to be safe in many different situations. And then we started a new one called Monique Burr Foundation Teen Safety Matters, and we have 138 children that are going to be completing that this school year. So we're really excited about that. And as you guys will see throughout the county, our pinwheel displays, we have 3 here in Schertz, and each pinwheel represents one of the 849 kids that we provided services to. So if you'd like to get involved, we have lots of different ways you can. We have many fundraisers coming up. Schertz Designer Purse Bingo will be on May 11th. And Champions for Courageous Children is happening right now. You can text GCCAC to 44321 and become a champion with us. And then we have Casino Night coming up on June 22nd at Blue Bonnet Palace, and then our bowling fundraiser July 28th, and that's at Fiesta Lanes. So reach out if you'd like more information. We can't do this without our community. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the City of Schertz for your continued support, and just thank you to everyone.
Our next proclamation is the National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Councilmember Dollar will read the proclamation.
Last one for tonight. National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 23rd through the 29th, 2023. Whereas the term victim is more than just a label and has legal standing and protections that go along with it, and whereas Crime Victims Acts passed here in Texas and at the federal level guaranteed victims the right to meaningfully participate and use their voice in the criminal justice process. And whereas victim service providers, advocates, law enforcement officers, attorneys, and other allied professionals can help survivors find their justice by enforcing these rights. And whereas the right to provide an impact statement ensures that victims' voices are considered in court during the sentencing and when applicable restitution processes. And whereas including the elevating of the voices of survivors, making certain that they are heard and seen creates a path to forging and sustaining community trust. And whereas engaging survivors creates responses and services that are credible, meaningful, and centered on individual needs. And whereas the survivors' lived experiences can serve as a catalyst for implementing innovative programs, shifting existing programs in new directions, and changing policies or practices that prevent survivors from accessing services or pursuing justice. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit to listening to crime survivors in every space where decisions are made that could impact them. And whereas the Schertz Police Department is hereby dedicated to amplifying the voices of survivors and creating an environment where survivors have the confidence that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Michael Dalla, on behalf of Ralph Gutierrez, the Mayor of Schertz, hereby proclaim the week of April 23rd through the 29th of 2023 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week in Schertz, Texas, and reaffirms the city's commitment to respect and enforce victims' rights and address victims' needs during National Crime Victims' Rights Week and throughout the year, and express our appreciation for those victims and crime survivors who have turned personal tragedy into a motivating force to improve our response to victims of crime and build a more just community. In testimony thereof, I have signed my name officially and caused the seal of the City of Schertz to be affixed to this on the 4th day of April, 2023.
Good evening, I am Krista Chandler, I'm the crime victim advocate for the city of Schertz, and I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank the mayor and the council and everybody from the police department in supporting victim services. It's a huge asset to have in a community. I work with both adult and child victims of crime, and I work very closely with the agencies that you saw represented here tonight. So I just want to say thank you again for that and give you a few statistics. So last year, for the year of 2022, I provided service to 362 victims, and the total services was 1,642. For the city of Schertz, because my position is shared with Civilo, I provided 843 services to 195 crime victims. So it is an issue within our community, but our community seems to come together and provide a lot of support for both our child and adult victims. And again, I want to say thank you to everyone here tonight. And I wanted to, we have an event that we'd like to also mention tonight for you to come out and support.
Sorry about that, I forgot about it, oops. So on April 26th in Seguin, we're having a free event. It's called Denim Day. It's from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's downtown, Central Park. Come out, wear your jeans. You know, we can get to paint them. There'll be vendors out there, food trucks, I believe, and live music. Again, it's a free event, so if y'all want to come out and just support, thank you.
We'll move on to employee introductions. First, we have EMS.
Good evening, Mr. Williams, Council Mayor. Tonight I have 3 new employees to introduce to you. First up, I have Tyler Points. He's a full-time EMT with us. He started with the city in January of this year. Grew up in Southern California, then he moved to Seguin, where he currently resides. Tyler spent some time in the U.S. Navy. He worked on some college courses while he was enlisted there. He obtained his ECA certification through the Public Service Training Academy and then came to Schertz to obtain his EMT certification. Tyler's been a volunteer firefighter with the Geronimo Volunteer Fire Department for 5 years. He's married for 16, has an 8-year-old son, and he enjoys spending time with his family, trying new places to eat, woodworking, and reading. So welcome, Tyler.
Thank y'all. Just glad to be here. So, thank y'all.
Welcome to our team.
Next up, I have Jeremiah Rodriguez. He's a paramedic with us. He started in February of this year. He grew up in San Marcos, currently resides in the Stone Oak area. He just obtained his paramedic certification. Last week, he became certified as a paramedic, so congratulations to him. He went through the National EMS Academy and TEACS to get that. He's been in EMS for about 2.5 years. He has a ginormous dog named Riley and a cat named Ken. Okay, and he graduated from San Marcos High School, and he was the youngest person in his paramedic class, so welcome, Jeremiah.
Very excited to be here. Excited for my future with Schertz. Thank you guys.
Welcome to our team.
And last up for you this evening, I have Rachel Hoosier. I said that right? She is a paramedic with us as well. She started in February. She is from Syracuse, Kansas. That's in the southwest portion of the state. Currently lives in Converse. She attended Cali Community College in Kansas and has been certified as an EMT since 2015. She has a Dalmatian named Rooney and enjoys spending time with her dog. Welcome.
Welcome to our team. Glad to have you all here. Next, we have police.
Right here. He's ready. Good evening, Mayor, Council. So I have the opportunity to introduce 4 of our new officers. We have 3 new officers that are starting their career here with the City of Schertz, and we have 1 experienced officer joining us. So we have Officer Vicente Gutierrez. He comes from to us from Dallas area. He has a bachelor's degree in international relations, and his hobbies including working out. I
want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's a great city, and I'm happy to be here.
And welcome to our city.
We also have Officer Moses Ruiz. He comes to us with 8 years of experience in law enforcement in the El Paso area, and he is originally from California.
Hi. Well, thank you guys for having me. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome again.
We have Officer Adon Lopez. He started with us back in February, and he is originally from El Paso as well. Interesting fact about him, he likes astrology, which is very interesting. And he's ready to serve our community.
Thank you, Griff, for the opportunity.
Welcome to our team.
And finally, we have Officer Andrew Cavazos. So he started back in January with us, and he just graduated from the academy in January. He's a graduate of Judson ISD at Wagner High School, and we look forward to his growth here.
Just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to serving the city.
Welcome to our team. Next, we have Parks and Recreation.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Mr. Williams. I'd like to introduce our new recreation specialist, Catherine Shield, but she goes by Kat. She's been here for a little over a month now, so she's already got pit cancer and moving out Maine under her belt, and we haven't scared her off yet, so I think she's here to stay. She previously worked as an elementary school art teacher for Navarro ISD before we stole her away. Her favorite animals are possums and foxes, which is a little unique. And in her free time, she loves spending time with her husband and adorable daughter, Reagan. Her husband's actually one of the fire lieutenants in Cibolo, but we won't hold that against her because she made the right decision and came to Schertz instead.
Hello, yeah, please don't hold this disability thing against me. I won't take much of your time, but I am excited to be part of Schertz, and I think I'm working with the best department.
Welcome to our team. Next, we have Fleet.
Good evening, Mayor, Mr. Williams, Council. I'm introducing to you Mr. Joel Martinez. He is our parts clerk / new tech for the Fleet Shop. Joel is actually originally from Seguin, but he resides in the Schertz area. Joel is happily engaged. He told me that today. He also has 5 kids, 4 boys, 1 girl, and they're actually all here with us today. They are right here in the back. Y'all can stand up, wave, you know. In his spare time, Joel enjoys fishing, watching UFC and football, and also Joel did serve in the Army. He did 7 years active, and he finished off his 10-year career with the reserve. So 7 years active, 3 years reserve. And Joel, the mic is all yours.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to my future here with the City of Schertz.
Welcome to our team. Next, we have Public Works. We'll move on to Economic Development Corporation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Holly Walsh, Economic Development. I want to take this opportunity to introduce our new employee, the Business Engagement Manager. Ashley has been with us for about a month. She's hit the ground running and has been very helpful in the department. She comes from Lavernia, and I'll turn it over to her.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. I just want to say that I look forward to working with you all, our businesses, our community as a whole, and just the city of Schertz. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to city events and announcements. Ms. Gonzalez?
Thank you, Mayor. Saturday, April 8th will be the Easter in the Park, sponsored by the Schertz Civil Assembly Lions Club. That will be from 9:30 a.m. to noon at Pickerel Park. It is a free community event. Also that morning, Crescent Bend Nature Park is the Nature Discovery Series Discover What's Flying from 10 a.m. to noon. And then we'll be, Tuesday, April 11th, hopefully be back in the council chambers for the next regularly scheduled council meeting at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. Next, we have announcements and recognitions by our city manager, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple. First, I'd like to acknowledge and say thank you to the employees who participated in the placing the pinwheels that you heard about just a few minutes ago around the community. And also, the EMS department has recently launched the Yellow Dot program. And this allows first responders to have detailed information, medical information about patients who are special needs or high acuity. If they're involved in an incident, there's a yellow dot placed on their vehicle that gives that information. And lastly, I'd like to say that I did hear a rumor about the Battle of 3009, aka the Guns and the Hoses game. I did hear that our Schertz police officers and firefighters completely dominated the civil So kudos to them, and that's it, Mayor.
Okay. Announcements and recognitions by the mayor. I want to thank our staff. Moving on main event that we had this past weekend. What a great turnout. And also the volunteers that helped put this together. We couldn't have done it without them. It was a great success. The turnout was awesome. We did have those Guns and Hoses tournament, and I got to shoot a couple free throws. Didn't even make one. But you know what? The other guy only made one, so I wasn't too far behind. Okay, so we'll move on. Next is the hearing of residents. This time is set aside for any person who wishes to address the city council. Each person is limited to 3 minutes, and we ask before addressing the council, for the record, please state your name and address.
First up, Daniel Jameson.
Good evening, council, mayor. My name is Daniel Jameson, 1048 Richmond Drive, here in Schertz. And if you have not been to a car show where they have all the nice older cars and various kinds, please, we've got another one coming up in September sometime early. Please come out, be a part of the car show. It's free. There are vendors there. Come and bring an appetite so you can eat and enjoy the cars and have fun. And also, on a good note, on behalf of the council, I know you guys have been praying for my dad. His doctor, kidney doctor, this morning said, I don't want to see you for another month. You are doing great. Continue doing what you're doing. And we're doing our best to try to keep him on this side of the grass for our Vietnam veteran. And of course, Dr. Scoliola knows exactly what I'm talking about. Thank y'all.
Next up, Reed Carr, please.
My name is Reed Carr. I live at 3509 Columbia Drive in Northcliff. For the record, I was never a military child. but I had 5. All 5 of those are now grandparents, believe it or not. They have collectively 46 grandchildren of their own. But that's irrelevant. Outside my house, if you drove by, you'd see some bluebonnets. I love bluebonnets. But I'm here to speak against the bluebonnet villas. Please, I ask you to pass on that one. Consider us residents in Northcliff. Give us a break. Don't put so many people up there that it'll just destroy our neighborhood. We don't need it. We don't need carpetbaggers coming in here and selling out our neighborhood. Consider revenues versus residents. Vote for us residents, please. Vote no on that.
Next is Mr. Ronald Mercado.
I'm Ronald Mercado. I live in 5125 Storm King, right in the Cliff area. So I'm pretty much here, just like everybody else. I'm retired military, over 20 years, disabled vet, been to Iraq, El Salvador, Cuba, all over the world, and decided to retire here, like a lot of people have. When I signed my contract for my house, I had to sign a paper saying that the golf course was part of the house in a way. I totally understand the golf course is gone. There's nothing we can do about it. But to add all these houses into this small little area would just make it San Antonio. I should have just lived in San Antonio and not traveled constantly every day to go to work. That's the reason why I live where I live. You know, it's to add all those houses, it would just destroy the community. We have so many people that live here, that retired here. It would just change the landscape. We live in America. You guys pledge allegiance to the flag. The government is we the people. You guys are our representatives. You guys are supposed to represent what we want, we the people. This is what we want to keep the neighborhood the way it is. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
And I believe this is Ana Bruno Andina.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Anna Bernardino, 3701 Columbia Drive, Cibolo, Texas, 78108. I apologize, I get up to 400 every day. I'm exhausted, but I still want to make it out. When last time I came, this is now my second time speaking, I was the lady that spoke about the foundation problem. I bought the house, beautiful area, and within a year the foundation broke again. Now, during that year, I spent the time repairing the house because we had severe foundation problems. It's not just a foundation, everything breaks. I mean, everything down from the side to the roof. So I spent most of the year looking at my address thinking, I go, Cibolo. I live in Cibolo, Texas. Everywhere else I live, whatever the city is, that's where you live. And then suddenly, I come to find out this project's coming, and I go, okay, so I gotta go to Cibolo City Council. It's like, no, it's Schertz. I'm like, what do you mean it's Schertz? It's like, no, it's Schertz. And I'm like, really? So I looked at the county line, I looked at the map, and I go, wow, that's really very funky shape for a county. And then I started thinking, I was like, okay, so what does the city of Schertz have to offer somebody new like me to the state of Texas? As far as I know, there's 500,000 of us that moved to the state, myself included. And I started realizing that the city of Schertz consolidates everything in the strip. The police department's here, library's here. We are in the far corner, and we're like a forgotten child in the corner. And then suddenly, now we are center stage for a lot of projects that I wasn't aware of. My realtor did not let me know this was coming. If I would have known that, I would have not purchased the house there because I've lived in the concrete jungle. In fact, I lived 2 months in Austin before I came here, and I got robbed in the first 48 hours because so many vagrants. All right? Our area has very little police presence, not at their fault. When I looked up where the police department is right here. There's like 25 minutes over there. That's where we're at because you had the 35 traffic. Now, I come from Puerto Rico. I was born, raised there, territory, American citizen. And I have to say that because some people don't know that. And when you grow up in Puerto Rico, an island is constantly battered by natural disasters over and over and over again. Our culture, we love our family, but our neighbors are also part of our extended family. Now, why do I say that? Because when things go wrong, so it's not your family that comes out, it's your neighbor. I literally have one neighbor, she is right there. When I first moved here from Austin, they screwed up my mail. They kept sending it to her, and she lived literally over 10 houses down from me, and she walked it over. Yeah, that's how much neighbors are also important to us. So imagine the first thing that I make at a city council, and I hear, we take care of our elders, we take care of our own. It's a slogan that at first since I was little, my dad was Vietnam, Korea veteran. And I hear some of the members kind of talking down to the members that have been in my community, the elderly, that's been there for 10, 15, 20 years. And then last time I was here, I had someone try to compare the value of our neighborhood to Homestead. Where I come from, we listen to our elders. We listen to them. And I'm not sure if you guys are listening what they're saying. The land we're having issues with the land in that area. So it's not just the density, it's also my actual concern is, and I'm gonna stop as soon as I'm done. If they build this, let's say we lose this battle, how will that affect our property? Will we continue to have more foundation problems, or will we continue to have more pipe problems? And how will the city help us with those issues? And that's all that I wanna say. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
Next is Tammy Kennedy.
My name is Tammy Kennedy, 3712 Pebble Beach. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for your service and what you're doing for our community by being here. And then I want to say that I am totally opposed to the Bluebonnet Ridge. And I moved in my house 2 years ago, and it said golf course was included with my house. And I learned that it wasn't there. So now I deal with it. But I do want to say I am opposed, and I would love to see some of those new police officers patrol our area, because we need it. Thank you.
Jan Baldwin.
My name is Jan Baldwin. I live at 3401 Columbia Drive. My father was in the military too, and I moved 7 or 8 times. I was tickled pink when I bought my house in Schertz, and that was 30-some years ago. I'm disappointed in the proposed project because it's going to change the entire outlook of Northcliffe. It's just, the density is just wrong, the high density that is being planned for that area. Thank you.
Tom Wilson.
Hello, I'm Tom Wilson. I live at 3805 Overlook in Scenic Hills. I won't take much time, but I'm just here tonight, stand in front of you and ask you to vote no on this proposal, primarily due to the density in a community like this of single-family homes. I just can't wrap my arms around why we want to dump that kind of density into a small area like this. It's not good for the community, and with our roads that we have and being able to get in and out of here, the density is just doesn't seem to work. I can't make it work, so please vote no on this. Thank you.
Heather Jackson.
Good evening. My name is Heather Jackson. I live at 3410 Wimbledon Drive. Over the last few months, my neighborhood and the entire Northcliffe area have expressed concerns about the traffic and density in our community. I sincerely thank you for your time and willingness to listen to our concerns over these past few meetings. I come before the council this evening not solely as a resident of Schertz, but as a parent, as a mother. Last week, I was taking my 3 boys to school. As we approached the intersection at Cherry Tree and Chelsea, we noticed there was even more congestion there than usual. As we got closer, it became clear as to why. Around 7:10 a.m., a student going to his bus stop was hit by a car. Fortunately, he is relatively okay. He broke his arm in the incident. For the record, the driver of the car had come to a complete stop at the stop sign. The driver of the car also got out and immediately rendered aid along with other drivers. As a mom, there is something extremely gut-wrenching about having to drive over a dented water bottle of a child who has just been hit by a car. Please don't dismiss this as an isolated incident. I drive that route to get my boys to school every single day. And every day there are near accidents. Our Northcliffe streets are overcrowded. They are simply too busy for everyone to stay out of harm's way. Our children aren't even safe getting to their bus stops. As I leave my new neighborhood, I cross over into Cibolo. I take my boys to 3 different schools, all of which have Cibolo addresses. I recognize that the city of Schertz and its council have no control over Cibolo roads or the roads that TxDOT controls. But the same congestion and issues of Northcliffe continue there. Our area has a problem. I cringe every day as I watch the poor Still High School students walk down 1103 to get to class. The cars get so close to them and it is so unsafe. But for many of these kids, that is their only way to get to school. And for the drivers, that is their only route to get to work. I've learned a lot over the last few months about development, land, and infrastructure. We've been told multiple times that infrastructure often comes after development. And while that seems backwards to a lot of us, I suppose I can see where that works and is okay to a point. But we are at that point. In fact, we are probably past it. Please think about this moving forward. Whether council votes tonight, next week, or 3 months from now on townhomes or any other high-density development, please keep this in mind and make sure that the placement of these developments is appropriate. Please make sure that the infrastructure is there to support all this progress, and if it's not, don't allow it to come. The density and the traffic are valid concerns of the residents. As a parent, as a mother, I am asking you to please think about this. We owe it to our children. I love Schertz. It is home to us. I want my boys to be safe here. In the meantime, I will do my best to stay informed and active in my community, and I will continue to work hard towards solutions that preserve the safety and integrity of our Northcliffe neighborhood. Thank you.
Steve Gooding.
So of course you just heard, my name's Steve Gooding, and I live at 5717 Fairways Drive in the Northcliffe subdivision. So I'm going to kind of talk in terms of a concept. We had a concept when we bought in that community. And that concept, through the years, 30 years ago, it had a swimming pool, it had a country club, it had tennis courts, it had a big pond or fountain out at the front. And through the years, that concept crumbled away. Okay? It crumbled. Pretty soon it was just a golf course, a struggling golf course. But part of that concept was all that green space. Now I live on Fairways Drive, it backs up to a fairway. And I don't have to worry about the golf balls anymore hitting my windows. So that's pretty cool. Sorry.
you know? But, unless somebody's just hitting a stray golf ball. But I'll tell you what, it's real nice to look out my backyard, and I mow clear to the walkway back there too, and I'm okay with that. And see people walking, and walking their dogs, and riding their bicycles, and taking use of that green space behind us. Now, that's not what's, on the table tonight. But what is on the table tonight is being concerned about your neighbors and that concept that dwindled away for us. It's no longer a concept if you put something like that there. All of a sudden, it's not single-family dwellings. They're not subdividing and put in houses like they've always done in the past. No, they want to dump something like that here. I want to read something here because a lot of people have given a lot of concerns, and density is the biggest one. Our community and our concept of our community wasn't planned for that. Had it been planned for that before people started buying in there, they may not have bought, but they were buying into a golf course, a country club, tennis courts, on and on. And some people in that community has been there 35, 40 years. Let me read something. I just noticed it. Kind of end with this. City of Schertz core values. Okay? City of Schertz core values. Do the right thing. That's what we're asking. Do the right thing. Do the best that you can. And when you make a vote on that, say, is that the best that I can to dump that on my neighbors and a community? We're also part of the community. We have our own little community right there, but we love Schertz. Don't get me wrong. Do the best that you can. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Would you want, seeing the concept, would you want that in your neighborhood? Right there? When the concept was all different. How about this one? This is the best one. Work cooperatively as a team. Work with cooperation as a team. Are we part of your team? Are we part of your team?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Brad Weber.
I thought that's about money. This is all set already.
Folks, I appreciate the opportunity to give my 3 minutes of opinion.
Could I have your name and address, please?
Yes, you may. My name is Brad Weber. I live at 3809 Overlook Drive. Thank you. I'm going to be a fish swimming upstream. In looking at the plans, in looking at the development, in looking at the proposed structure, I endorse what's being proposed. I think it's going to be additional benefit to the community. I think it'll be additional, the appearance is going to look better than some of the neighborhoods that are in the North Cliff area. I see this as an improvement. And I would, again, as a fish swimming upstream, I would encourage you to look at the long picture, the big picture, and support this development. Thank you. Richard Moss. I still have 2 minutes. Is there a chance to readdress?
Yes, come on up. You got 2 minutes.
Okay. I was sitting next to this mother and that's got 3 sons that's driving them to school, and I was moved by the incident at that corner.
In all reality, that street needs to be cleared of parking vehicles on the street. There should be safety regulations, not just proposed, not just put on books, but definitely enforced, that as this is a thoroughfare, you might say, that cars are not parking on the streets. It would be beneficial to the entire community, but also to mothers that are taking kids to school. Thank you, and I will come back. I appreciate it.
Richard Moss.
Richard Moss, 3434 Wimbledon Drive. I've been there 31 years. I'm against ordinance 23S02 and would like you to deny that at this time. This is basically the same zoning change for this property as it was last year. And at that point it was denied. I don't see any reason why there was any change at all. The first item I would like to talk about is how the application was handled. In my opinion, the city staff should have reviewed the application and handed it back to the applicant. The UDC reference for multifamily residential districts should not be located in areas where they would increase traffic through single-family neighborhoods. We've talked about this for the last 8 months. This is nothing but increasing traffic through these neighborhoods. Should never have been started in the first place. Going through other items in the UDC, the Uniform Development Code 21.1.2, purpose and intent. Prevent the overcrowding of land and avoid undue concentration or diffusion of population. Protect and conserve the value of land throughout the city and the value of the buildings and improvements upon the land, and minimize the conflicts among the use of land and buildings. Everything that this is about is against your UDC. Lessen congestion to the streets and provide convenient, safe, and efficient circulation of vehicular and pedestrian traffic. This goes 100% against the UDC. The city representatives readily admit there's already a traffic congestion problem in this single-family neighborhood where this is supposed to be taking place. And it makes absolutely no sense how this ever got in front of anybody here if the staff would have actually followed their own UDC. Townhome districts. Minimum lot area shall not be less than 2,500 square feet. Again, shall not. It's a mandatory item, but again, it was obviously overlooked by somebody. Buffer areas. They decided that they're going to use the backyards of the different houses as a buffer. Totally against the UDC again. I would like to encourage, I feel that there's a misunderstanding about what a city staff recommendation actually means. At the February 14th, 2023 council meeting, 15 minutes was spent on what size the surface parking spot should be. There was 3 different proposals out there. The city representative said he didn't care. Spent 15 minutes saying he did not care which one you guys chose. And yet at the end of the day, it was signed as a recommendation. That is not a recommendation. It met minimum standards. This might meet somebody's minimum standards, but it does not meet any minimum standards that I can understand. So I would like you to deny this just like it was denied last time. Thank you.
That's everybody that signed up tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. All right, we'll move on to consent agenda items. Are considered self-explanatory and information packages are provided to council and available for public viewing. These items require no separate discussion unless requested by council. Item number 1, minutes. Consideration or action approving the regular minutes of our meeting on March 28, 2023. Item number 2, Appointment, reappointment for boards, commissions, and committees. Accept the resignation of Ms. Angela Freeman from the Transportation Safety Advisory Commission, TSAC. Reappoint Mr. Ferrando Hayward and Mr. Will Martinez to TSAC, and reappoint Charles Cornelius as an alternate to TSAC. Item number 3, resolution number 23R34. Consideration or action by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, approving the resolution authorizing the acquisition of permanent and temporary easement necessary for the construction and operation of pipelines and appurtenance related to the dedicated transmission main from Live Oak to IH-35 water storage tank and hike and bike trail easements along the same alignment. Item number 4, resolution number 23R35. Consideration or action by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, approving a resolution approving the authorizing the CCN transfer between Green Valley Special Utility District and the City of Schertz to amend the CCN boundaries and other matters in connection therewith. Council, do any of these need to be removed for separate action? Is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 1 through 4?
So, second.
Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem, am I correct? No?
Mark Davis.
Mark Davis, okay. Motion made by Councilmember Davis and second by Councilmember Hayden. Council, any other discussion? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
We have 7 ayes, no objection, motion passes. We'll move on to discussion items and action items. Item number 5, ordinance number 23S02. Consideration or action on the request to rezone approximately 25 acres of land from pre-development district to planned development district, PDD, located approximately 2,200 feet southeast of the intersection of the Country Club Boulevard and IH-35 access road, also known as a portion of Comal County Property Identification Number 377261 and Guadalupe County Property Identification Number 63833, City of Schertz, Comal County, Guadalupe County, Texas. Final reading. I do have a note here that the applicant has requested that this ordinance be tabled until April 25th. With that, there's a motion from this council to table this until April 25th.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion made by Councilmember Dalla and second by Councilmember Hayward. Council, any comments?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to know what the delay is in reference to, or for what purpose it'll serve.
Mr. James?
So the applicant is certainly here, can speak to this if I don't cover it, but they've been meeting with the residents, again, I believe that are hoping to modify the proposal to find something that more of the residents are agreeable to. They have not reached that agreement yet, and so is looking more time for those discussions to continue.
Councilmember Dalla, Councilmember Scott, do you have any additional questions?
Not at this time, sir.
Council, any other comments? Yes, Councilmember Whitaker.
If the council wants to table it, I'll table it. The comments that we continually hear, I think if there's any development on that land, there's always going to be people here that are concerned about that. So, if the item is pre to PDD, so I guess you don't want the PDD that as designed is why we would table it at this point.
Councilman, great question. Mark Benson, 2000 Broadway, for the applicant. We, in these meetings with the neighborhood, we've heard over and over that density is an issue. And so we are basically proposing a different type of project, a duplex type project where we're going to be dropping the density to 174 units. We presented that to the community, to the 5 neighborhoods in that area. I understand they put that information out to the membership. They're doing like some polling to try to get some feedback, and that polling will come back at the end of this week. And so we'd like to have that information, and if there's some way to move forward and maybe amend our current application to go back to the duplex concept. So that's, I mean, we're trying to satisfy a lot of different interests in terms of a lot of different, I
definitely, I appreciate your effort, I really do, and I think, I mean, I haven't been around for very long in this position, but, you know, I've never seen a developer respond so quickly to, concerns, you know, that are spoken at these meetings. I mean, unless you're gonna put 50 houses on that land, I think you're gonna get the same.
Sure, and we understand that, but I think even within the council, there's a concern about, I know some council members don't wanna see anything but single-family homes on that particular property. We can't develop that because of the development costs and the housing prices, so we had to look at another alternative, and we know there's concern on the part of some council members about density. So we've come back with a project that's, I'm gonna say, almost 50 units less dense than what we'd originally proposed. So we're trying to just satisfy as many people as we can. Maybe we get there, maybe we don't, but we'd like that opportunity to at least get a little more buy-in and then present, you know, kind of what we can do as our option.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Dillon.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to meet with the community and try to find a consensus. You know, I don't know that we will, but you know, I did 8 years on planning and zoning before I got on council, and this is coming up on my 4th year. And I have yet to see any other developer go to such effort to try to meet the concerns of the community. And so that is appreciated. And if you're asking for more time to try to find that win-win situation, I'm happy to provide it.
I don't know if we're gonna get a win-win, but we're gonna do what we can. Thank you.
Council, any other comments? I too, well, first of all, the residents, I understand that you all came here for, you know, expecting a vote. The applicant did request to take this. He is working with the community to try to find a resolution. And like it was said, I don't know whether or not we'll find the perfect balance of what they want and what you are able to provide. But they're working with the community to try to find that. I think that's admirable, and that I hope that we do come to a resolution so that when it comes to council on the 25th, we're ready to vote on it. Thank you. All right. Motion's been made by Councilmember Dalla and second by Councilmember Hayward. Any other comments? Let's go ahead and call for the vote.
Aye.
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 We have 7 ayes, no objection. We will table the ordinance till April 25th. We'll move on to a roll call confirmation. Our Deputy City Secretary, Louis Quinny, will provide a roll call confirmation on consent agenda items and also on the identified our discussion.
Good evening, Mayor, Mr. Williams, and Council. Sheree Kearney, Deputy City Secretary. Roll call.
If you can just wait a moment. Sure. Okay, thank you.
For consent agenda items numbers 1 through 4, the motion was made by Councilmember Davis, seconded by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Brown, Councilmember Davis, Councilmember Watson, Councilmember Whitaker, Councilmember Dalla, Councilmember Scagliola, and Councilmember Hayward all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0. For the item number 5, the motion was made to table the ordinance 23S02 until April 25th. Motion was made by Councilmember Dalla, seconded by Councilmember Hayward. Mayor Pro Tem Brown, Councilmember Davis, Councilmember Watson, Councilmember Whitaker, Councilmember Dalla, Councilmember Scagliola, and Councilmember Hayward all voted yes. Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to item number 6. That's the monthly update for the fiscal year 2022 and 2023 approved expansion projects. And item number 7, monthly update on our major projects in progress, capital improvement projects. These are information packets that were provided to council and available for viewing at our website, Schertz.com. So we'll move on to any further announcements by our city manager, Mr. Williams.
No further announcements, Mayor, thank you.
Council, any possible updates or information requested from staff?
Mayor, this is really information for the staff, I guess. But I'd like to explore the agenda items. You know, how is it that we can keep the ordinances that are presented in the council member packages from looking like they're already passed? How can those items be flagged so that people looking at it are convinced that we've already made up our minds? Can they be made draft copy until after the council meeting? Like I said, I don't know if we want to put that on the agenda, but I think it's something worth looking into for the staff.
Mr. Williams, maybe we can have our discussion on Thursday to see if we can, I understand what you're saying. So the appearance will be that it still needs to go through the process, it's not that it's already implied that it's been passed. So we'll have a discussion and see how we can make something like that happen. All right, any other information or updates? Council, any other items you'd like to place on a future agenda item? All right, announcements by our council members or events attended, Mayor Pro Tem Brown.
I just want to thank Parks and Rec for moving on Main, another great event. Somebody estimated over 2,000 attendees, and say that's pretty darn good. Had good weather, and so do it again.
Councilmember Davis.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Councilmember Watson.
Attended the Movement on Main this past Sunday. Beautiful weather, and that's all for this week.
Councilmember Whitaker.
Attended Moving on Main, did a full lap, saw a few great faces out there, enjoyed myself. And today, ribbon cutting at Stitched in Schertz. They put the name of our city in the business, you have to go there. So if you know where Tropical Smoothie Cafe is, just go a little bit further down the parking lot, or Abel's Diner, it's in the same parking lot. If you want to do some sewing, learn how to quilt, really nice business. That's all.
Councilmember Dodd.
I attended Moving on Main as well. Just again, a great job by Parks and Rec Department, as well as all the other city staff members that participated in helping organize that, to make sure it was executed as well as it was. So thank you, guys.
Councilmember Scaglione.
Yeah, along the same lines, Moving on Main is absolutely wonderful. I was rocking that cowboy hat of mine. I stayed off the dance floor though. I want to thank Lauren and all the folks from the Parks Department, our assistant city managers, the vendors, volunteers, our first responders. It was a really great event. Thank you.
Councilmember Hayward.
Yes, I attended the Northeastern Partnership Capital Trip. Even though we didn't meet with our representatives for a long period of time, I do believe that it was a success, especially when we got to meet with Representative Kemple and go over some things that we support and what we don't support, what we oppose. And I think having those continued conversations will work. And I'd like to thank Steve for allowing or putting together a legislative team with Linda and then Sarah as well, helping with that to make sure that we can keep our cities and we're controlling them in the city and not the state trying to control the cities from the capital. I attended the Summer Hall farewell. Gonna miss her. She's a great asset to the city. I attended the Guns and Hoses, which wasn't really hoses, I guess, because you have to put firemen on the teams. But the Schertz PD against Cibolos PD, and so Schertz did win. It was an amazing game. It was very riveting. Just to see how hard they actually played. I think they played better than some of the professional games I've seen. And then the ribbon cutting was Stitched in Schertz, and Jill gave you kind of the information on Stitched in Schertz, and that's all.
All right, the time is 7:18. We stand adjourned.
Thank you.
Golly.